I think what impacted me the most about this missions trip was understanding the mission and the vision and the long-term effects from the organization that we partnered with called One Child. It was kind of unbelievable to see some of the circumstances that the people there in Honduras lived in. And to understand that a lot of them had had loved ones that had passed away from gang related violence. They lived in these tiny little shacks, and they maybe many of them didn't have father figures in their lives or were suffered abuse, and so One Child is there to provide them with hope and love and a safe place where they can get medical attention, they can get social and emotional support, psychological help, and they can have a nutritious meal, and they can learn about Jesus and hope for their future.
I think it was the first day we went to like the actual Hope Centers. There was this little girl, her name was Sophia. She was so adorable, and she kept asking me to come play with her, but I was face painting the whole time, so I couldn't like run outside and play. So I finally got a break once we were like cleaning up and everything. So I ran outside, and she was like, come play with us, come play with us. So she wanted to play this game called like Lobo Lobo, I think it was what it was called. And we would like walk around a circle, and there'd be one kid in the middle, and Sophia really wanted to be in the middle. So she's standing in the middle, and we're walking around this circle, and then they'd like sing this song, and then they'd ask the Lobo, which means wolf, like, what are you doing? And so then she'd be like, oh, I'm washing my clothes, or I'm doing this, and like every time the kids would start laughing. But then once the wolf would say like, oh, I'm brushing my teeth so I can eat you, you have to run away. So she said that, and then she immediately starts sprinting for me. So I'm running around this little backyard area, and I wiped out so hard. I had a huge bruise on the side of my hip, but it was so funny, and everybody started laughing, and it was really hilarious.
Oh, you okay? Oh.
I think the thing that impacted me the most on this trip was just the bond I created with the kids. Because walking into this trip, I had no idea how it was going to work with the language barrier. I was very nervous because I don't speak very much Spanish, and I wasn't expecting them to speak much English with me. The first day, off the bat with the kids, the language barrier wasn't big out. It was big, but it didn't matter. All that mattered was like just playing with the kids, and we were able to point stuff out and communicate that way. And it was extremely life-changing just to see their faces, if I understood just a little bit of what they were saying, or if they understood a little bit of what I was saying. And just like the friendships I made with them, and even the child champions there, just seeing how they work with the kids, that was amazing just to see what they do on a day-to-day basis.
When I was in Honduras, I was really nervous about not being able to communicate with children. But then there was this one kid named Fernando. He was awesome. He knew a little bit of English, so we were able to have conversations. And he also translated for me when I needed it. I wasn't thinking about coming back home.
Some of the boys, especially the teenage boys, were harder to get a hold of or harder to grab. And some of them, you'd see them wrestling or doing something. So I spun one of the boys around and his chair. I'm quite a bit taller and bigger than he is, so being able to look down at him and get down on my hands and knees, he's in a desk, and put my arm on there. And I was like, okay, let's arm wrestle. No communication. Obviously, I can't speak Spanish to say let's arm wrestle. But all the other boys just start geeking out like, oh, you got him, you got him. So we're arm wrestling for a few seconds, and then he laughs, and I grab his other hand and I let him put his two hands up and like pull like this, and all his guys are like freaking out like, come on, get him type thing. And I just count uno, dos, tres to do this, and it basically flips the whole desk. And the rest of the time they're like chest bumping, they're having fun, and then whatever games we did at that point going forward, like they were in. Even like the face painting tattoos, like they didn't want to do it. I walked in and Kinzley put like a spider web on my arm, and then the next thing you know, all the boys are doing it. So connecting with some of the teens and really having them just like not having to worry about where they were especially when you hear words like, hey, it's not safe to be on the street right now, like, come back inside, the building's the only place that's safe. Like, if that's the thing that they have to worry about daily, it's pretty scary. It's just not something we have to worry about with our kids most of the time.
The kids were just happy no matter what, even how hard their life was, learning about other people's lifestyles and stuff, how they eat, what they drink. I don't know, it was just a cool experience.
I just remember being there and seeing the children there worshiping with all of their hearts. When the worship music came on, they were all in, and they were it showed me that God is the same no matter where we are, no matter where our circumstances lie. God is still the same, and He provides the hope and the peace and the love and the joy that we all need to get through life, and especially these kids. And I just couldn't stop weeping just to witness their hearts and what the Lord is doing in their lives. It was just extremely impactful.